Hello, everyone. I'm going to put my camera up just to say hi. Mrs. Keitel here from Northwest Junior High. Whether we were in class or learning online today, watched a TED Talk by Louise Despont. She is a fabulous drawing artist who received a Fulbright grant in order to travel to India to study, to work, to create, and she now lives in Bali where she is still creating her drawings and her work. So after we watched that today, we really thought about the different kind of shapes that we can use to create an image with symmetry. Now remember, symmetry is what we find in these geometric shapes. We know that a perfect square is is symmetrical because if we split it right down the middle, it's the same on both sides. So even if we're using a combination of different shapes, varying shapes, we can still make a really nice symmetrical design. And that is our goal for today, just to fiddle around and to experiment with stencils and shapes to find the kinds of things that we can make with symmetry. Now, I am going to jump right in. I'm really fond of this like triangle shape that I'm finding, even though this is typically a squared stencil. We've got all sorts of stencils that we've used in the art room, but you can use a ruler or you can create your own shapes at home. You can use cups to trace around for circles. You could find a box or a food box that you could trace for squares or rectangles. Just kind of get experimental with it, and especially to my peeps who are experimenting and creating from home, use what you have. Now, like I said, I'm just jumping right in. I'm loving how these triangles are appearing, and I want that to be the base of my symmetrical drawing. So I've done 4 here, and I'm going to have this kind of be my central part. Since this central part does have this gap, I think I'm going to see if I can find a circle shape to just fit that perfectly. The beauty of having some stencils, but this is, again, something you can definitely accomplish at home with a little patience. So I'm putting that circle right in the middle, and I'm just going to have some bigger circles coming out of there, connecting, but I'm going to do the same on both sides. So I'm going to just kind of wedge that between. I'm using a pen today so that everyone observing this can see nicely, but of course you should be using a pencil. And at home, you can always erase as you go. All right, now this is experimental. This is fun. I'm noticing that mine's getting a little off track. Maybe it's not perfectly symmetrical, but that's why we're practicing. That's why we're experimenting. I notice I had some overlapping here that's not quite matching, but I'm just going to keep going with the flow. I found another shape here I find interesting. I'm going to do that on the top and down here on the bottom. Again, kind of showing the difference in how my hand moved and maybe where things didn't always connect perfectly. That is all right. Okay, this is the introduction here to how we can use shapes to just overlap, to jump right in, to create some cool symmetrical images. You might have a specific subject in mind, whether you're trying to make an animal, maybe you're trying to make an object, or maybe like me today, you just want to experiment with these shapes and see what you can create. Have fun, be experimental, and please spend about 10 to 15 minutes practicing drawing with shapes, just like Louise Despont. All right, y'all, have a wonderful day.